Suffering is an unavoidable part of life. No matter who we are, where we live, or how much we achieve, we all experience pain, loss, and disappointment. Some people try to escape suffering by chasing after pleasure, distracting themselves, or denying their pain. But avoiding suffering does not make it disappear. Instead, it often grows stronger, like a shadow that follows us wherever we go. To transform suffering, we must first understand it. Many people believe suffering comes from external events, losing a job, facing illness, or experiencing conflict. But if suffering came only from outside circumstances, then everyone in the same situation would feel the same way. However, people react differently to similar hardships. This shows that suffering is not just about what happens to us, but how our mind responds to it. Imagine a man walking through a storm. He can curse the rain, feel miserable, and resist what is happening. Or he can accept that the rain is falling, adjust his steps, and keep moving. The storm does not change, but his experience of it does. In the same way, when we resist suffering, we increase our own pain. But when we acknowledge it, we create space for understanding. So how do we observe suffering without being overwhelmed by it? First, we take a step back and notice our pain without judgment. Instead of saying, "This should not be happening," we simply acknowledge, "This is happening." This small shift helps us see suffering more clearly. Next, we ask ourselves, what is my mind doing with this pain? Am I adding fear, anger, or frustration to it? Often, our suffering becomes heavier because we fight against it. Understanding suffering is the first step toward transforming it. It is not an enemy to be defeated, but a teacher that reveals the nature of our mind. Suffering feels like a burden, something we want to escape. But what if we saw it differently? Instead of treating suffering as an enemy, we can view it as a teacher. Every painful experience carries a lesson, but we can only learn if we are willing to listen. Think of a time when you faced a difficult situation. Maybe you lost something important, or someone you cared about hurt you. At that moment, the pain felt overwhelming. But looking back, you may realize that the experience changed you. Perhaps it made you stronger, more patient, or more understanding of others. This is the hidden value of suffering. It has the power to deepen our wisdom. Suffering reveals the nature of life. Everything changes. Nothing is permanent. And we do not have full control over what happens. Many of our struggles come from resisting these truths. We wish things would stay the same, that people would not leave, that life would always be comfortable. But reality does not work that way. When we accept this, suffering becomes lighter. Imagine a stone in a river. If the stone resists the flow of water, it will be pushed and worn down. But if it allows the water to move around it, it remains at peace. In the same way, when we stop resisting the difficulties of life, we suffer less. One way to shift our perspective is to ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? We can ask, how can this experience help me grow? This simple change in mindset opens the door to wisdom. Suffering is not just pain. It is an invitation to see life more clearly. Once we understand suffering and shift our perspective, the next step is transformation. Suffering itself does not automatically lead to wisdom. It is how we respond to it that makes the difference. Think of a piece of iron placed into fire. If left untouched, it remains the same. But if shaped with care, it can become something useful, like a tool or a sword. In the same way, suffering can harden us or refine us. It depends on how we use it. One way to transform suffering is through self-reflection. When we experience pain, instead of reacting immediately, we pause and look within. We ask, what is this suffering teaching me? What is my mind holding on to? Often, suffering reveals our attachments, the things we cling to for security and happiness. It might be an idea of how life should be, an expectation of how others should treat us, or a fear of losing control. When we see these attachments clearly, we have the chance to loosen our grip. Another way is to turn suffering into compassion. When we go through difficulties, we better understand the struggles of others. Pain softens our hearts if we allow it to. Instead of becoming bitter, we can use our own suffering to connect with others. We begin to see that suffering is not just personal, it is universal. Everyone faces loss, disappointment, and fear. When we realize this, we stop feeling alone in our struggles. Lastly, we can develop resilience by embracing suffering as part of growth. A tree that grows in strong winds develops deeper roots. In the same way, the challenges we face make us stronger if we accept them. We do not need to seek suffering, but when it comes, we can meet it with courage and wisdom. Suffering is not the end of the journey. It is the path to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. Suffering is often seen as something to be avoided, but we have explored how it can become a source of wisdom. First, we learned that suffering is a natural part of life, not something to escape. Then, we saw how changing our perspective allows us to find meaning in difficulties. Finally, we discovered that suffering can lead to personal growth when we approach it with awareness. This journey is not about eliminating suffering completely. That is impossible. Instead, it is about learning to walk through suffering with understanding. When we stop resisting, we see suffering for what it is, a teacher that helps us grow. Each challenge we face is an opportunity to deepen our wisdom and strengthen our hearts. Of course, this is not always easy. Some days, suffering feels overwhelming. But even on those days, we can take a moment to breathe and remind ourselves, this is part of the path. Slowly, step by step, we learn to transform pain into understanding, fear into acceptance, and hardship into growth. If this message resonates with you, I truly appreciate your presence here. Your support, whether through a like, a comment, subscribing to this channel, or even a super thanks, means a lot. It helps create a space where we can continue exploring these ideas together. Thank you for taking the time to listen. May you find wisdom in every challenge and peace in every step forward.